So here's the deal. What was the moment that you knew that you were black, right? And y'all can answer. I'm on Facebook Live right now. Y'all can answer if y'all. I'm sure y'all listening to the show. Given the coverage of the George Floyd murder trial, the countless killings of black people at the hands of police, the recent rise and the recent rise in Asian hate, many of us are having tough conversations about race with our family, friends, and coworkers. And sometimes, it can feel like we are making progress in the fight against racism, and then something happens that reminds us that we're black, and there are a lot of racist people in America. Now, yesterday, Sunny Hostin was on the show, and she shared the moment that she knew that she was black. A white guy had asked her to the junior prom and then uninvited her after his mother said something like, black cats don't screw birds. So what about you? What was the moment that you knew that you was black? Hit us up, 866-9-RICKY, 866-9-RICKEY. Brad, what was the first moment you knew you was black?
Man, listen, I think we've been so numb to it growing up, I didn't really realize it until I got that 10-year sentence by that white judge.
Oh, wow. Wow. Eva, what about you?
Well, I grew up in a very pro-black family, very militant, so I knew I was black since I was born. But when I knew that racism existed and the difference of it was when I was about 6 or 7, I remember being at the grocery store and a white lady told me, "You are so beautiful for a black person." And I did not understand what that meant. So I asked my mom, what does it mean to be beautiful for a black person? He said it means to be ignorant for a white person. So I understood then that racism existed and that we were held to a different standard.
Gary.
Yeah, I'm like the rest of them. I mean, growing up, I didn't realize, I didn't really see racism that much growing up. But when I became an adult, I started sitting in. It was not too long. I got my news just recently when I went to one of these good department stores, and I walked in, honey, and these girls didn't even wait on me. They didn't even ask, could they help me? I'm like, well, girl, they don't see me in here? And I'm like, okay, I reminded that I was black, but I never really started because we had a mixed neighborhood, so growing up, so I didn't really get to N-words or anything like that coming up as a child, but as an adult, it was definitely.
Yes, have any of those moments?
Yeah, I got one. Growing up, well, when I was a little kid, my first best friends were white because we was in mixed areas. But then when I got to high school, 9th grade, I went to 1 year I went to all white, mostly white school, and that's when I discovered I was real black. That's when I heard the N-word every single day, and it was torturous. And I only stayed there for 1 year because I got in so many fights.
Right. Somebody's phone vibrating on the counter.
It really is.
And it's so annoying. Please.
Check your phones,
what about you, Rock T?
Yeah, well, I found out I was black when I was at a store and I was about to get ready to purchase an expensive item. And the lady behind the counter said, "We don't have a layaway plan or a payment plan." I'm like, I didn't ask for no layaway plan or payment plan. I just want to buy the item. I'm like, that was when I realized, I said, you know what? And I wasn't even, I was like, kind of.
She just assumed that she just wanted to put your stuff on layaway.
She assumed because obviously maybe some other African American people has asked if they had a payment plan or a layaway plan. I'm like, I'm just trying to purchase the item. I didn't even ask for it.
All right, I want to know what you think. Get out of 866-9-RICKY, 866-9-RICKEY. Let's go to the phones. Good morning.
I knew I was black when my white godmother got pulled over by the police, and the police thought that we was kidnapped.
I look as white as Bill O'Reilly. My boss took me to lunch one day, asked me what my nationality was, and then I was fired.
When my grandmother used to say, "Go sit your black ass down," and all my sisters are lighter than.
It was about 7th or 8th grade. I had a friend. I used to braid hair, so I did her hair. And we went to her house, and when her mother saw her hair, she grabbed her by her hair, and she started cutting the braids out. And I was just like, wow.
I was watching Roots as a little boy. My grandma bought me the tape, and I knew then that I was going to be different.
So it was back in the 90s, not to age myself, but I was younger with my mom and my grandma from South Florida. So we were in Aventura Mall in a department store, and we were being followed by 2 of the sales reps in there. No one else that I can see was being followed.
Girl Scout camp, 9 years old. The girl has been picking at me all summer. came to a head. They had circled around us, and she was like, "You black stallion." And before she got that stallion out her mouth, I had hit her with that 2-piece of the biscuit.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I had 2 white dudes call me the N-word. I was in the 3rd grade at North Roebuck Elementary in Miss Floyd class, and they called me the N-word after school, and I fought all 3 of them, and we was thumping. And I thumped their ass. Shout out to Buck. There's a guy named Tommy Felton that lived in the project with us. We call him Buck. Shout out to Tommy Felton because you had to fight him every day. That was the Debo of our neighborhood. He used to kick all our ass, but guess what? Taught us how to fight. So when them white dudes called me the N-word, I'm talking about I thumped their ass. All 3 of them, one by one, took them to school. Old school, I balled my fists up, and they was my side, but you know, Buck like 3 years older than us, so Buck just slapped their head. Hey, Rock, yeah. Buck used to throw the football so hard, if you didn't catch it, or whatever, you come back to the huddle, he'll probably slap the hell out of him. That's how tough we was. Y'all don't blow his phone up because he's still crazy.